A lot of these moms are so isolated that they don't have anyone to talk to and carry on conversation about just the things they're going through every day. And so when the home visitor goes out, she's someone there that they know they're going to see every month. Sometimes they talk about the things that are planned on. They talk about the child's development. They talk about where they are, making sure they're getting their doctor's visits, their well baby visits, their immunizations. And sometimes they just talk about the challenges that the mom is going through at the time. If dad was laid off, if he's just not in the picture, things that they're worried about every day, the concerns they have for their children. When the home visitor leaves, that mom knows that someone was listening to her and cared about what was going on in her life. When one of our moms was interviewed by Vanderbilt University, she told them that she would go to her MyHow home visitor for information and help before she would ask her own mother. So that was the biggest compliment our program could have had.
In 1972, we started the ECD program, and we used the van to haul the children. We pick up the children and take them to the local church for a group session.
We work hard to transition our families from MyHow to the ECD program.
Despite the stereotype, the mountain people of Appalachia place quite a high value on education. Set back in remote hollers and separated by winding, unforgiving roads, it is often the context and not the culture that present barriers. But that is a reality that leaves many children deprived of the basic foundations for learning.
Once children graduate from MyHow, many of them go into the ECD program here at Redbird Mission. That's early childhood development. It helps them learn social principles. They learn to follow rules, take instructions, socialize with one another. So it's a very important transition and very healthy to get them school ready. We find that a lot of the children that come to our program, they would not have gone on to a preschool or a Head Start. So I think Redbird Mission's ECD program is a good response to that need. It does follow a lot of the Kentucky core curriculum standards, and it prepares them to know their colors. They're working on their names. They are tying books in with curriculum and storytelling. So it's exciting, but it's extremely educational, and it prepares them for kindergarten.
The Mission Clinic has been an invaluable source of support and compassion for this community. Sharon Fogelman is the Director of Mission Healthcare Services. She and her husband, Dr. Lynn Fogelman, are the clinic doctors.
Here at Redbird Clinic, our patients are in what's called the Coronary Valley area of the United States. We're known to have the highest percentage of stroke and heart attack. We have the highest percentage of adults and teenagers who smoke in this state, and therefore it leads to a lot of chronic medical problems. My husband Lynn and I served together in a very rural hospital in Kenya in East Africa. We found most of the patients did not have any money to pay for their hospital stays or for the medicine. That's very similar to our patient population here at Redbird Clinic. We have many who do not have medical insurance and have no resources that they can fall back on to provide even transportation or the medications that they need for their health problems. Fortunately, we have many concerned people who send in donations that help us provide a supplemental health care program, which is basically a sliding scale program. So that helps many who otherwise would go without their medicines or without the care. that they are needing.
Dr. Kaiser is the clinic dentist, a challenging job in this part of the country. Appalachia has been ranked #1 in the nation for toothlessness. Dr. Kaiser and his modest staff treat nearly 3,000 patients each year.
If you're not exposed to the outside world, you end up having problems that come from living in a small, isolated community.
Sometimes, not as often, sometimes the microphone right here, that doesn't get blocked as often because that's on the outside. I don't imagine you wore earplugs, did you, when you were working around the noisy machinery?
Well, I drove trucks and all, the end loaders and you name it. Dozers.
Well, what we're going to do is make some molds for you to get you some hearing aids. That'll make a big difference for you.
Yeah.
Gertrude Blady is a nurse midwife, and she has delivered, I don't know how many babies here. They have a plaque in the medical center with little baby bracelets with the names of every child she delivered at the Redbird Hospital.
I came home in May 65, and was on deputation. And in November, I think it was, I got the mission board said I should report at Redbird 1st of January 66. At first, the doctors were not looking for a nurse midwife, just a nurse. I was hoping I could go to Redbird, but I wasn't going to tell God where to send me. This is the Redbird Hospital when I first arrived there. And that was the nurse's home, it's behind the hospital. There was a young 16-year-old girl came to prenatal clinic, and she was scared to death. 3 months pregnant about, that's all. But she just, she was just so scared. But that way I had 6 months to work with her and train her and talk to her and help her. And when she finally came in to deliver, her delivery really was what is normally a little difficult. But she did beautifully. She cooperated with her body and breathed, and she did a wonderful job. I was just proud of her. Many of the husbands, some of them, I guess, didn't care about. And this one man, just after the baby was born, he came walking up the hall of Redbird Hospital there, he went, never would miss it for anything, never would miss it for anything. He got so excited. I delivered 1,514 mothers. Well, some of them at Redbird there, they always want to know what their number was, I got the doctors educated to use a nurse midwife. They would say to their patients, be sure you do what Gertrude tells you to do and you'll have an easier time.
They say you're supposed to get 50-foot tall. Way around. That'll make a great shade tree.
It's been a really great week to spend with Justice. With all of his health problems, he never complains. He never says, woe is me. He accepts who he is, and he does things joyfully. His faith is amazing, and he, in his very quiet way, will share that with you if you get to spend some time with him.
I think he was very appreciative of all the efforts that we put in on his home. I was diagnosed with a peripheral neuropathy The large nerves that innervate my feet and hands are slowly dying. I tend to stumble a little bit, and it's difficult sometimes for me to use my hands. I found a couple of jobs where I could sit down pounding nails and cleaning up after some of the difficult work that were just right up my alley. If you think about taking a mission trip, don't worry about your ability, what you can do, because no matter how handy you are or unhandy you are, there are things to do.
And you see your pretty flowers?
You can just see God working every day, and it's just been a beautiful thing to see that happening.
And this is my first time to come for work camp. And I've enjoyed being off the beaten path to see back in the mountains what is here at Redbird. And it's truly been a blessing this week to work on this lady's house and paint her house for her. And we hung a new wind chime on her porch this morning. And just to be a blessing to her. And I talked to a gentleman last night who's excited because a work team's coming to work on his mother's house for him and help his whole family because we're helping his mother.
With so many elderly residents living alone in isolated areas, the need for socialization is very important, and the mission has recognized this need and offers a sanctuary for local residents. It is well known for one very special reason. When the ladies of this center get together, they create some of the most beautiful and culturally exquisite quilts you'll ever see.
The women at the Senior Center, they're fabulous. When we first met a lot of them, they lived in extremely rural communities, very far from one another. We don't receive transportation reimbursement to do extra events, so that they pay their own way by crafting. The women are very proud of what they create.
Hey, one day, one fellow from Redbird, he used to come up here. He come out, he like, I'm gonna tell you that, and he come up here, and he's from Pennsylvania. He got 3 little children. He act like he won't flirt, but I want to have him.